Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can generate passive income without buying call options. But before going into the details, if you're not familiar with options trading, I would highly recommend you to watch my other videos on options trading for beginners. So now let's get back. How do we generate passive income? Covered calls are one of the best way to do that. So what is a covered call? If you Google, you will see a variety of definitions over the internet. But in simple terms, a covered call is a combination of direct trading and option trading. First, you should buy a stock with an intention to stay on it long. Second, you're not going to sell that stock. Rather, you will actually sell a call option for the same stock. So why is it called a covered call? Because you have never purchased a call option for the same stock, but you're planning to sell a call option for the stock you own. In other words, your sell call option is being covered by the stocks you own. Therefore, it is called a covered call. So when is the best time to execute this strategy? Let me give you an example. Let's suppose you purchased a Roku stock at $80, and in a month after you purchased, the stock price went up to $115. And on week 7, the stock price have pulled back to $95. Now you strongly believe that the stock price is going to be stable here for a couple of weeks. In that case, between week 7 and week 11 is the best time frame that you can execute this strategy. Does it come risk-free? Of course not. But it has a limited risk as you still own the stock. And since it has a limited risk, even your profits are capped here. I'm going to talk more in detail with an example later. But for now, let's see who can execute this strategy. First and foremost thing is you should have a margin account and permissions to do options trading. Second, you should select a stock which has a huge upside potential in the long term because you're planning to stay long on it, right? Third, you need to buy at least 100 shares in order to sell one covered call option. If you wanted to sell more than one covered call option, then you should buy multiples of 100 shares. So now, how to place a covered call? I'm going to show you two strategies. The first one is a very conservative strategy. Here, you're planning to sell a call option on week 8 when the Roku stock price was around $95.97. And you selected a strike price at $115, and that call option is expiring in 1 week. That means it expires in week 9. And the cost per share is going to be about $2. And the premium you will receive will be $200 because, as you know, that each call option controls 100 shares. And here, in this strike price, you're going to receive $2 per share, so your premium will be $200. And this premium will be paid automatically as soon as your call option gets executed. So the break-even point here is your strike price, which is $115, plus your option premium, whatever you received, $2 per share. So therefore, it's $117. So as long as Roku stock price is below 117 at the time your call option expires, you're on the safe side. You're not going to lose any money. So now let's check the non-conservative strategy. It is exactly the same. You're selling a call option here on the same week, but at a strike price of $100. And it is also expiring in the same time on week 9. Since you have selected a lower strike price, you will get more money here. So the cost per share is going to be about $10. So the premium what you're going to receive will be $1,000. The break-even point here is going to be your strike price, which is $100 plus option premium about $10, so about $110. So as long as the Roku stock price stays below $110, you're not going to lose any money even here. So what happens after you place your covered call? You don't have any control on those 100 shares. The buyer of your covered call will take control of those 100 shares until the expiration date. So therefore, you should be ready to sell your stocks at the strike price in case the market goes against your bet. And you don't need to do anything. It happens automatically. Now let me tell you what happens at the time of expiration date. There are multiple scenarios. Now let's talk about the best scenario. Let's assume that the Roku stock price remains stable as you predicted. In this case, the call option you have sold is gonna be worthless. So you keep the premium plus all your 100 shares. And you can basically repeat the same strategy every week and earn money as long as you think that the stock is going sideways. Now let's check the non-conservative strategy. Here you sold your call option at a strike price of $100, and on week 9 the stock is still trading below $100. So the call option what you have sold becomes worthless. Remember, in both these strategies you made money by just collecting the premium, either $200 in case of very conservative strategy or $1,000 in case of a non-conservative strategy. But this happened just because the stock price went in your favor. Let's imagine a scenario where the stock price did not go in your favor. In this case, the stock has rallied way up high as soon as you actually sold your call option. Now, what happens? In a very conservative strategy, you can expect that the buyer of your call option will execute the contract on week 9 at a strike price of $120 because on week 9 the stock is trading at $120. So, what will you get? You already got the premium of $200 by selling that call option. Now, you will also get the value of your 100 shares at the strike price what you have selected, which is 115 in this very conservative strategy. So, you will get 11,500. But remember that the stock is currently trading at 120 at the time of expiration. The remaining value of your shares above your strike price will be collected by the buyer of your call option. And in a non-conservative strategy, it's even worse because the strike price what you have selected is $100. Therefore, you will get $10,000. So the remaining money will be taken by the buyer of the call option. As you may notice, in this scenario, your profits are capped. Now let's imagine another scenario where the stock has been crashed because of some bad news. Now in both these strategies, where in very conservative or non-conservative, the call options will become worthless because the stock is trading at a way low than your strike price, whether $115 or $100. So both the call options will become worthless. So what will happen? You will get to keep the premium in both scenarios because you have already collected them, but the value of your stock is gonna be low because although you have your 100 shares, the value is now gonna be very low. And some people say that you lost money. And I believe that you have not lost money here because you have entered into this stock with an intention to stay long. And you know that in the near future, this stock is definitely gonna rally up. So you just have to keep waiting. Remember that in all these three scenarios, you're actually not losing anything because in the first scenario, it's the best scenario where you're making profit by keeping your shares and collecting the premium. And in the second scenario, you're still making profit by collecting the premium, but your profits are capped, but you're not losing your money. Your profits are definitely capped. In the third scenario, which is the worst scenario where the stock has crashed, you're still collected the premium, but if you wait longer, you know that this stock is going to rally up because this stock has the potential. So in all these three scenarios, it's a win-win situation if you know how to place your covered calls. So now let me give you a couple of tips for placing covered calls. So as I mentioned before, this strategy works at its best only when the stock price is very stable and goes sideways with no major upside or downside momentum. Second, you have to be very conservative when you pick the strike price. And I would highly recommend you to pick a strike price that is way out of money. That means you have to pick a strike price that is higher than the current trading value of your stock. Never pick an expiration date that is too far because there's a high chance that the stock price can reach to your strike price and the call option will be executed. Therefore, I recommend you to pick an expiration date that is 1 week or at the maximum 2 weeks. And one most important thing is you should never sell your own stock until your call option expires, because in this case it will become a naked call. Since you don't own that stock anymore, and if the call option is being exercised by the buyer and the expiration date, then you will be forced to buy 100 shares of the same stock again. Therefore, you should never sell your own stock until your call option expires. That's it for now, and I wish you all good luck, and please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching.